So what's the contrast? Like you grew up here like we did in the Ogden area, and then moving to a big town like that. What's been like what was the biggest like shock to you? What was like the, oh shit, I'm not in Kansas anymore type thing?
Yeah, there's no Mormons there.
That's
the biggest thing,
point.
you know, like when you're living in Utah, you keep your head on a swivel because you know, like anywhere you go, you may see someone who is part of the LDS church.
Right.
So you have to put that in your mind when you're interacting with them on how you speak, on how, you know, you move and everything like that.
So do you not give a fuck out there?
Yeah. Out there, you see people who are like you.
Right.
You know, you see, even if they're white, they're still, you know, in a culture that's not ran by a religion.
That makes sense.
And this is a great place to grow up. Utah's a great place to grow up. Don't get me wrong.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you can only go so far.
Right.
Because people were going to ask you, what ward are you from?
Yeah.
You know,
bro.
what LDS church did you grow up in?
The first time I got asked what ward I was from, I can't remember what age it was, but I was pretty young. And I didn't know what the fuck they were saying because I didn't grow up LDS. So, like, you know, what ward do you belong to? I'm like, ward?
Sounds like wizard.
Is this, wizardry? Is this like witchcraft? Like, what do you, I'm confused and scared now. But that's interesting. Yeah, it's a good point that you made, though.
That's the best. That's the thing that I could think about the most. And then, you know, you get an idea of how other cultures, you know, operate. So
right.
I like that for that. But Utah, man, it's so close to the mountains.
Yeah, oh, beautiful.
5 minutes away to go camping, to go to a river. That's what I realized in Texas, everything's private property.
Oh, really?
You know,
Yeah.
you might be on a big old land and you realize this is someone's property. You better get off this, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's the beauty about Utah is that it's all for us.
It's
know,
like
all for the
open.
people.
That's a good point.
So
That's a good point.
if I chose a state to live in, mostly you choose who you want to be around.
Oh, that's,
So-
that's valid.
And that's the most important part for me.
That's valid. That's what I like about growing up here is that we experience things here that people won't experience other places. You know what I mean? And I was telling Roman this too, like not a lot of stuff comes from here, right? Not a lot of like national influence is going to come through Ogden, Utah, but a lot of things come through here. So we experience a lot of things that come through here and impact us. And it's from other like LA, New York, and stuff like that.
That's a great point.
Right?
That's a great point because, you know, in high school, when we were going to high school, we were all influenced by Mac Dre, the Fizz Face, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So different cultures come through here, and you're like, okay, let me emulate that. Let me see what I could do.
What
you know,
you got like salt taffy or something like that?
I don't even know. There's none that really comes from here, but I know there's things that we...
Fry sauce.
Oh, fry sauce, yeah, for sure.
There was I saw Japan has that. They call it something else. I don't know if they came up with it first, but
Nah, fuck
I
that.
believe they did. They're
That's
10 years
here.
ahead right now. I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah.
But,
and, you know, it sucks, but the history of Caucasian people, they steal other people's cultures
That's true.
and things.
Yep.
I don't want to say it.
So
but
true, though, bro.
That's the track record. That's the track record, right?
So,
especially American, like think about like things that are like considered American pop culture, right? Americana, right? It's just a bunch of different shit that white kids thought was cool and they took from other cultures and turned it into Americana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the truth. Like,
That's the
you know
truth.
what I mean?
This is the truth. Is it just because, it's like, what is it, 80%, 70%, or however high percentage of America is white, right? So then they're the ones with kind of the purchasing power, so they kind of push it,
that's
you
true.
know, to the mainstream or something like that. So it's like, so we should probably use the black and brown dollar to like push something, right?
Absolutely.
that's a great point.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, if you were like famous, doesn't matter what genre or whatever it is, like, you'd probably want white fans.
You're just seeing green.
Exactly.
You're seeing green at that point.
Yeah. That's like what Eminem said. He said, all of 50 Cent's fans became mine. All of my fans became 50 Cent. So it's like
they traded
off. You get all that, you know, with that. But still, you know, when people take something from you or you feel like you're owed or deserve credit, it still hurts because you want to be given that credit for that. So
but Theo Vaughn said, what did he say in his stand-up? He said something like, "Oh, it doesn't matter the color, because like we're white and black both struggle, but the green is the
that's the separator.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
like,
that's what separates people is that almighty dollar. You know what I mean. So that's true. But yeah,
you gave us a YouTube video to watch. Speaking of the mighty dollar, about some like strippers or something in LA or something, because you saw it on Vice. And I checked it out. It was interesting.
I like Vice a lot, especially their YouTube channel because they put out stuff that you just don't see on a normal basis. True. And so the video was about, it's titled Strippers, Lingerie,
sure
and Influencers or something like that.
No, yeah, right? It was Hollywood A Love Story. It was like
Hollywood Love Story.
5 or something.
So it talks about this girl who's going from Philadelphia to LA to sell her lingerie, right?
Yeah.
And she used to be a former sex worker.
Yeah.
And then she links up in LA with this girl who's a current sex worker. Yeah. And you checked it out too.
And other strippers as well. So like the influences are kind of like, you know, a little dicey and stuff like that. And she's trying to get in, you know, them to sell her lingerie and stuff like that, right? Yeah. But she comes to find out like it takes a lot to live out there, right? So like yeah.
She did say that. She said she was selling the lingerie and then the two girls met up and she was like, this is a place where you gotta suck dick.
Yes.
You don't gotta suck dick, but you gotta suck dick.
Yeah, and she said figuratively and literally too, because like, yeah, you have to either literally suck dick or you have to figuratively suck dick, you know, kiss ass or stroke somebody's ego and stuff like that to make it, right? And then everybody out there's trying to make it. Shit, like how do you guys think you would thrive, or how do you guys think you would do in LA? I mean,
First of all,
you're in Texas right now, so you kind of maybe have a little bit of an advantage. But how would y'all do?
First of all, I would not suck dick.
Hey, three months behind.
But figuratively, I think we've all sucked some dick.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Not physically, but no, like, isn't it funny too how we have to use like that expression like of the male genitalia getting sucked to like talk about somebody's ego? It's true though. Like it's so true because that's the like people have influenced, especially like for a long time, like Hollywood and like music and shit like that's been men, right? And a lot of people had to do some shit to kind of get noticed, you know?
Like how Dave Chappelle said though, if that's the only price to pay is only sucking dick and not having to like pay money or something like that, like actually working hard 90, 40 hours, whatever, 80 hours and shit like that. I mean, that's not a bad price. Just say that's a advantage for the women.
No, you gotta have some talent too, because anybody could suck a dick technically.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a mouth, but not everybody has talent. You know what I mean? So I mean, you can suck dick, but you gotta also suck dick and sing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to be good at what you do. But I think that you know, when people get to a place, they don't realize what the struggle is.
Oh yeah.
So like he said, he may not suck dick right now, but when he gets to that place and finds out meals, and that brings us to our point. You know, like there's a lot of different people out there, and he brought up a good point, like earlier, like who sucks dick better? You know, who could suck a dick? Like, you know, when you were a kid, you know, and you were around women, and let's just say you had your first woman, you know, masturbate you.
Right.
They can't do it that well.
That's true.
Because they never had that in their hand for their whole life.
Yeah.
They haven't been stroking it for like that long.
Yeah.
Do you
when
remember
you do it yourself,
your first hand job? Do you guys remember your first hand job? It was rough.
I don't remember.
Like, it was aggressive.
I don't even remember my
like, she was grabbing that shit and like pulling the skin.
It's tough. So, you know, you're almost like, let me just do it myself because let me show you. You kind of guide their hand, you know, like, here, this is what you do. And that's the same thing with Hollywood, you know. There's gay guys who are sucking dick better than women.
Oh, shit. Okay, when does it get to a point? Okay, say the OnlyFans is like the starter kit for like the rest of the nation, right? Because it's like LA starter kit. Like, you know, you put yourself on, you're not selling your body yet, but, you know, you're selling, you know, the fantasy of your body. And, you know, if you're not making enough money and that's your full-time thing, maybe you might sell your body because, you know, you have to, you know, supplement because it's not making enough.
Puts food on the table.
But anyways, what about when the dudes or even the straight dudes come in and undercut their prices and they do a better job at it? Are they going to be upset or what's up?
On second take. I was thinking about this. You got to think, okay? Of course, a gay guy can probably suck a better dick than a female because he has a dick. He knows how good it feels to have his dick played with. So he's gonna know exactly what to do with that dick. You know what I mean?
Is it gonna be to the point where you have like VR or something like that? You have the baddest chick in the world, but it's a dude just.
What the?
Oh man, that's like some Black Mirror type. That's Black Mirror type of stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
You know,
you never have to see the dude. You just have the VR.
No, you're gonna feel that shit.
He comes in the room.
That's the worst thought ever. And that's like that terrible Black Mirror episode where the guy has a wife and he decides, hey, I like it better with virtual reality with my buddy. It's like, what? You know? So I think you're really it's gonna come to the point where people don't care anymore, man.
Yeah, it's
already where this is all about sexual gratification.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it won't even feel that good because it's so it's so accessible or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Fuck.
It's just about getting that nut. It's about getting that nut. That's what it's gonna be. That's what it is. It feels like it's funny because like I feel like I'm removed from that kind of like dating culture and stuff like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from what I hear, because I listen to other podcasts and shit, it just sounds like young people are just out there fucking. Like they're just getting their nut wherever they can get it. You know what I mean?
True. What I heard though too, it's like dating in today. It's like they're so hung up on that first though, because I think we all are for the first, right? But like they're so damaged. So like when you do hook up and stuff like that, there's no meaning to it or anything like that. Like they don't really move on. Like I'm sure it's been that way, but I feel like at least that's what I hear. Like dating in this generation sucks because there's so much access. But still, it's like they're not really tethered. They're only tethered to somebody in the past, but they don't. That's why it's just so freely. It's kind of like girls being guys, right? Because like you probably could have your heart broken or something like that, and then you're just a savage afterwards or something. So women are like that now or something.
Oh, that's kind of true.
Do you see it or not?
I can see that point.
I see what you're saying. I'm just not too into their life, so I can't really give you a good idea on what it is.
Yeah.
But growing up for me, like when you get with a girl, you like. That's who you're with, you know, and you feel a connection with her, so you may feel sad, you know, if you split up.
Yeah. Right.
And I know I felt sad about my past relationships, and you go into a deep funk.
Dude, heartbreak.
And you let it really affect you.
Yep.
But like you said, nobody in this day and age, it doesn't seem like there's like heartache or loss.
Yeah.
You know,
because they have so much accessibility, they'll just move on, but not really deal with that, whatever it was. Kind of.
Instant gratification, like you said. OnlyFans, they have an OnlyFans. They can jump on OnlyFans. They can go on Instagram and find, a call girl or whatever.
How lucky are these motherfuckers? Because when I was young, I had to fucking I was still in the era. We were still in the era of using like porn magazines and shit. Because like online porn didn't really explode until maybe late high school or some shit. You know what I mean? But I used to have
porn.
You porn. Shout out you porn.
porn was the spot.
iPod and
I had magazines up until I was like 17 years old. I had some old ass magazines I had to pull out and shit when I wanted to. You know what I mean? Relieve myself.
I heard people bust on the pages and stuff like that.
Why would you do that? Why would you ruin it?
Exactly.
Those magazines were like $15.
Over and over again. Like you're just, I'm sure it'd be like feel good, but like you're tarnishing your
good image.
I used to look at Victoria's Secret magazines and get hard.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine getting hard off a picture now. It's like there's so much stuff going on.
JCPenney catalogs.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I can see through that bra. This is the picture I'm using.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is the one.
This is it. And even when you're at school, you would see a girl you like and you would have that vision in your head. At the end of the day, you're like,
oh shit.
Here we go.
Right, yeah.
I got everything I need,
Oh, that's so funny you brought that up. There was an old comedy special. I can't remember who it was. But they were saying, and I was watching it with friends and we died laughing because we knew it was true. He was like, I could technically have sex with anybody I want. I just look at the girl that I like that day. I keep that image in my head and I'll masturbate to it later. He's like, so I basically fucked my all my female friends because.
That don't count.
It don't count. But to that point, like, imagination can go a long way.
It used to. I don't though. Like how he said, like. How many teenagers or guys get off to like imagination and stuff like I mean we all have like I guess the highlight reel or something like that or you have an image or it helps you but I don't know I think it's a different game.
I think kids today just want to fucking see shit so they're on like Oculus masturbating and fucking computer desk and shit. Like they can't get off without some visual stimuli, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I feel that it is now.
That's what I'm saying.
But our generation, like we could have just thought of some shit. Like we saw, we were in gym class and we saw, the fucking gym teacher who was a girl, with some sexy shorts on. Like, hey, I'm gonna put down the spank bank
teachers that y'all had or like?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, should we go there? I don't want to say names.
I ain't gonna say names, but in 10th grade, I know for a fact we had the same English teacher, and she wasn't that bad.
Okay.
She was not that bad.
Okay, see, none of my teachers were bad enough for me to remember. Like, oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
throw it out there though. But did y'all have the biology teacher? Yeah, remember?
If you could give us like a first letter.
Yeah, because
I think it was a B, but she was bad. Like she was bad.
I can't even think of it.
Okay, but
but nowadays teachers are getting impregnated by their students. I'm like, where were these teachers when I was?
Exactly, like
these teachers look good too.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up this then, because it's like, do you think it's just closed mouths don't get fed? So like, you know, if you really shot your shot, like, do you think? I mean, like, or do you think? Because I mean, they're gullible now. I mean, that's good. They'll shoot their shots now because they get this TikTok or something like that, a little confidence up, and
that's a.
But you know what I think it is too.
Or do you think it's just being showed?
I think they're all about clout too.
Yeah.
Because they get to expose the teacher at the end. Because you never see a teacher just walking scot-free. They're always in the news like, teacher is getting impregnated by her 13-year-old student. And I feel like at that point, they're all high-fiving. I got it.
I hate that. That's
see, with our era, we're low-key. We like to be low-key about things, hey, I ain't gonna let nobody know about that,
Dude, that would be...
But it's clout-chasing generation.
Teacher, y'all wouldn't even know right now.
Clout-chasing generation right now. Yeah. I think he's right. I think Paul's right.
And that word clout is like, that's what all people care about. Yeah. Especially when you talk about it. Even
why do y'all think it's so important though? Like, I mean, we know kind of why it is, because it's like attention brings, I mean, it could bring a lot of things, right? It could be bring gifts, money, women. But like, why do you think clout? Do you think it's just because other people want it? That's why people want it? You want what you can't have? Or what do you think is the underlying thing?
I think in general, people who are clout chasers, that's exactly what they want. They just want that public eye. You know what I mean? They just want to be like known, and they have a big ego. They're narcissists. You know?
Yeah.
Like I can't say a time that I want to do like clout chase. Like I did something just to have clout. You know, I either did shit because it was funny to my friends, or you know what I mean, or because like I just felt like doing it. But not like, if I do this, I'm gonna get this many. And social media too. Social media played a huge part in like clout chasing. Like people are like, I'm gonna get likes from this. People are gonna follow my page, whatever. So that's my thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, once you start making money from something, money's my biggest motivation for me. So I think other people, once they're like, I got 20,000 views on YouTube or however many views, and they start seeing those checks come in, you become hungry for that clout.
Okay.
Whether it's money, whether it's attention, or whether it's just something that you want people to see that, hey, I'm different.
Yeah. When does it come to a point, like, say, like, something does pop off, or it did, or whatever, and then, like, you get the people coming back at you, like, oh, congratulations, or something like that, but, we should hang out and stuff. How do you handle that? Because it's like, I think Akon said, like, rich people have more problems than broke people, and, I didn't hear the whole thing, but I could see why.
Yeah.
How would you guys handle that if it's like, if it came to that? Or
I would just stick to those who are close to me. Just stick to the ones that have been there before the clout.
True, but I mean, that's like the quote unquote proper way to do it. But in reality, it's like, damn, I am kind of like, I do want friends. I do want to have a good time. I do want to, experience things. And you kind of do use those people. They're using you, you're using them, kind of a thing. So it's like, it's kind of a circle, I think. Y'all agree?
And I think Drake was talking about the same topic. He said when he first came out with his album around 2012, he had all the features on there. Jay-Z, everyone on there as far as, getting clout from these people. Right. He said Drake didn't really need it, but he could do it.
Right.
And so I think you grow from that and you start learning like, okay, I think it makes you feel empty at a certain point. Yeah. Like, what am I really chasing?
Yeah, if it's not what you actually really want, then that's when it becomes hollow, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, is there anything that you guys really want? If you guys want to just express or anything, or like, I don't know. I mean, I don't
more money.
I mean, we're trying to drink White Claws, trying to have some beers, trying to laugh. But fuck, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Just shit, money. Like Paul said, money's the biggest motivator, money, right? Especially when you got kids, man. You need the money, man.
It sucks to say this, but
no.
Our friend Ray, he has this idea of like, money doesn't matter. I want to make the world better.
Yeah.
He wants to create a sustainable living for people.
Right.
Like create communities where they can grow their own gardens or,
I appreciate that. But no, keep going.
Build your own house. Yeah. He has this idea like a self-sustaining community. Like if everyone contributed, if you want a car, go to the manufacturing place and start helping make cars.
Oh, okay.
And then you can build your way to get a car.
That's a big ass scale. Like,
it's a scale. It's a big scale.
Yeah. But, but to start small, like say you had that community and they all chipped in to help you get a car or something like that. Right. You know, just for a small thing. But get at me, Ray. I want to...
Exactly, Ray. We'll see Ray soon.
Yeah, we got to get him on here for sure.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's what I think it is. I mean, if you want something, you're going to go ahead and do whatever you can to get it. Yeah. That brings us to the start of what we were talking about, you know? Yeah. Like the clout. If I want money, I'm going to do whatever I can, whether it's...
Sucking dick.
If I'm like people who are in the corporate world, they'll snake on someone quick. 100%. They'll talk to them face like, hey, I think you're going to get it, buddy. I think you're going to get the job. And then they'll snake you right after and go talk to the
You're bringing up my job right now. They
fucking dangle that brass ring in front of you and they're like, hey, you can, come on, chase it. You know, you can get what you want if you come over here and do this. Yeah.
So... That's what it is depending on your heart, though.
Yeah. That's true, man. That's so true.
Like for myself, I rather just be genuine to people and have that work out for me in the end, no matter how long it takes. Right. You know, if people want something from me, that'll make it easier for me to cut connections off with the people who are not genuine, you know? Yeah. So I think it depends on what people want and what you want from other people. Right. You know?
Speaking of, and we don't have to go into details or anything like that, but we're so glad to have you here. It's been a long time, you know, since seeing you, but like every time I see an old friend or something, you know, I get happy and stuff. And I feel like I have a little bit of guilt because it's like, oh, I don't reach out or we don't talk, but like, I hope there's never any like weirdness or anything like that. It's because like, you know, I embrace all of my friends or anybody that I used to, you know back in the day and stuff like that. But like any relationships that y'all think you could repair or like, you know, maybe you haven't reached out to, but like there's still love, but it's not there yet. Like, I don't know, like how's it? Because you guys keep in touch with people from high school and stuff like that. Yeah. Right. Or maybe even coworkers that you guys had, but like, how do you guys, maybe because I'm socially awkward, I don't know. How do you guys keep those things afloat or like...
I think that's where like social media is positive because a lot of social media is negative. But where social media can be positive and used for a good cause is to keep in touch with those friends. Like I love seeing people that I've known growing up or that I went to school with doing good things or just, you know, doing good in life, not necessarily like monetarily, like gaining a lot of money, but if they're happy and I see a smile on their face and like their stories or their posts, it makes me happy. It really does. Like I feel good. And I get a sense of gratitude for seeing people that came from the same place I came from doing good and liking their lives.
That's
true.
I mean? That's true. But but what if what if they weren't really happy though? What if they have those pictures and stuff like that? It's how do we get to the level without being like, you know, too, you know, forward or something? Be like, hey man, are you good? Like what's really going on? Like, do you think they'll tell you or like,
that's
I don't know.
That's a good point. Just a comment or even just a DM or something. Cause I've been there. I've seen people go through that. I've had a couple of friends that like, I hadn't talked to in years. This one kid in particular, I won't name drop, but it's crazy because I used to know him in elementary, right? Like we used to hang out in elementary and stuff like that, ride bikes together and stuff. And this is probably a few years ago, but he was posting some sad stuff like on his Facebook. And so I just reached out to him. I just DM'd him like, hey bro, like I shot a memory or something. You remember when we did this and this and that? And he's like, oh yeah, you know, that was funny and this and that. And I'm like, hey bro, are you okay? Like, if you're good, you know, let me know. If not, bro, I'm here. Like I'm, you know, you can rely on talking to me at least. Even if I don't know your full situation, just like tell me and I'll try to understand. Right. You know what I mean? So that's like a positive thing for social media. Like I think a lot of social media is clout chasing. A lot of social media can be negative because like bullying and shit like that. True. But when you're genuinely using it as a genuine person to like look at your friends' lives or people who you care about's lives and stuff like that and kind of, I don't know, not keep tabs, but like just know, you know, what's going on. That's like the positive influence of social media, I think.
That's and like you moving to Texas, because like when I moved to Vegas, like, I don't know, to me, not that it felt like jail, but, you know, you have a separation type of a thing with, you know, your home or whatever, Utah, and you're trying to start something different. You're trying to have a new identity maybe or something like that, and then trying to make new friends, trying to, you know, but how's it been? Like, do you keep the two separate, or do you still kind of, you know, are they still together? Two both worlds, or are they still
that's a good
one?
point. I think you care about people as much as they care about you. So when you leave and, you have people reaching out to you like, hey, how are you doing, brother? Yeah. How's Texas? How's this? You know, you realize, okay, these are the people who care about me, who at least show that they care about me. Right. I don't know if it's genuine, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to come off as fake. Like,
No.
I really care.
But I know you as a person. I know that you're not a reaching out type of person. Right. You're not a very, you don't go out of your way to get at somebody. So I know you as a person, and I know that's not you. Right. So I don't feel any type of way. Like right when I seen you at the door, I knew I felt love instantly. Because
you can sense things, right? Like
I can. I have a very good sense of people and how they are. And then on social media, on the other aspect of what he said, the whole opposite. There's people that are not really your friend. Yeah. They just want to look at what you're doing, maybe report to some other people, Like, unfortunately, I'm not with my kid's mom, so there's probably people on my social media right now, that are not really my friend. Yeah. But they just want to tell her, like, this is what's going on with him, This is what he's doing, And it sucks that it has to be that way. But I always think, like, if they really care that much, fine.
Right.
I have nothing to hide.
Exactly.
So people care about you as much as you care about them. So when you said when you went to Vegas, you separate yourself a little bit because everyone has to separate themselves to build and elevate. Right. So once you elevate and separate yourself and you come back, you're going to come back to the people who really care about you, who are really your friends, from the start. Yeah. So I don't think I've ever had a moment where I was like, Rudy, I've never had a separation, even though we've separated for years.
Yeah, we always like it's still my buddy, bro, we pick up where we left off every single time. That's what I love about like our friendship. Yeah. I was thinking about this once I knew you were going to come and be on the podcast. I was like, man, even though we've spent like years apart, because I didn't realize it was 3 years you've been in Texas. Yeah. But before you had left to Texas, like we were super tight. And even through high school, we were tight. And then we kind of like had different shit going on through college. So we didn't hang out as much, but it was always the same love. Always. And then like every time he comes back to town, it's like we pick up right where we left off. Like it's almost like no time has passed, how it feels to me. And I think that's rare in a friendship.
It is.
Is it bad to me? 3 years doesn't even feel like a long time.
It's not though. Okay. Yo, it's not.
It feels like it was like that.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's because I'm older, like we're older now or something, so time is not as relevant or something. I don't know. But a lot can change in 3 years, though.
Bro, think about this, okay? You've been out there 3 years now, okay? Our high school years were like 4 years. Yeah. And that I can remember all of our high school experiences, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then, like, you've been in a different city for 3 years. 3 years. That's the contrast. Like, it's not even that long. But it's what you do in those years, I guess.
That makes it, exactly. So if you have, like when I was gone, I would think about, my children. It would hurt to be away from them and stuff like that. So it made it feel longer. Yeah. But then we had the pandemic. Mm-hmm. The pandemic, I don't know if you guys even remember what happened in 2020. It's such a blur to me. Right. Like I'll think about stuff and I'll be like, wow, that was in 2020, There was a whole section of stuff that happened, when the pandemic started. People were stealing toilet paper.
Right.
I think the Capitol riots happened at that time.
That was in 2020.
And that feels very recent, But the pandemic condensed everything in because you're living at home and you're just really not really going out and seeing people. Right. So it condensed time pretty fast for me, to be honest.
That's crazy. That's so true, though, because, like, a lot of shit happened in the pandemic. But when I think about 2020, it was all condensed. It felt like, I don't know. It didn't feel like a long year to me. It felt like just like a condensed fucking month or something. And I look back on it. Yeah, I look back on it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, a lot happened in 2020, but it just like... A lot of wars. Probably because I wanted to be out of that shit. Like, I hated the fucking pandemic.
I think some people embrace it too. Like...
They're still in it.
I kind of... Like, yeah. Like,
some people are still mentally in it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I turned into quite a hermit crab. Because I'd be like, I don't have to go out. I was in you. This is how you live. This is how you live naturally. But I like the satisfaction of not having to... People became more clean. They were sanitizing their hands, wearing masks, buying toilet paper, disinfectant.
Right.
So it's almost like a blessing and a curse.
Right. Yeah.
The whole pandemic situation, because it made people either come out of their shell afterwards, but a lot of people, you don't talk about the depression that they had from it. People committed suicide from the pandemic,
That's true.
Yeah. So it's either way you saw it. If you saw it as a place where, oh man, I'm locked in, or if you saw it as a sanctuary, like I don't have to see people. You get either one or the other,
I have a coworker that came up like 8
Oh, it was like she was day trading or something?
No, but from the unemployment shit.
Oh, yeah.
But fuck, yeah, so there was some good at the pandemic.
Yeah.
Some people were doing pretty well.
They got away with that shit.
I wonder what those Vice girls did during the pandemic. Do you think that one girl was still selling pussy during the pandemic? She was like, hey, you got to wear a mask. Yo, what are what are the escort prices?
Yeah, I don't know the prices now, but I'm saying they'd have to be boosted. I'm thinking.
Because there was a 6 feet.
Unless they needed the money and then the prices went down. I don't know.
Yeah. People were serious about that 6 foot rule.
Oh, yeah.
I got a guy was pissed at Walmart. Somebody came on his back. You better stay 6 feet back. And I was like, oh, shit. They're going to fight over 6 feet, dude. You know, so like you said, if you're prostituting in the pandemic, you're making cash.
You're making cash.
Bitcoin.
But do you wear a mask? Like, if the girl comes over, do you got to wear a mask? She's like, and she just lowers it when she's sucking. Puts it back up.
I mean, hypothetically, I'm taking.
She like just, she pulls one of these up.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Y'all see people in masks, but like you take it off and you get a little disappointed or anything like that?
Oh, like yeah.
Where I work, we still wear masks, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Been masks.
Right, because you're in a retail environment, right?
In the airport, yeah.
Yeah, so it's masked up still.
All masked up.
That's so crazy.
I don't know.
I hated that shit.
I don't know. You like, all right, where do we go with vaccinations and stuff like that? Should we go?
I guess this is just our personal opinions.
Right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I just think, if you don't want to, you don't want to. If you're going to do it for, whatever reason you have to do it. I think it's stupid that there's like this division, like anti-vaxxers versus vaxxers and stuff like that. It's exactly what, if there are, because I always say because I'm not like completely bought into conspiracy theories, but like if there is like a Illuminati or a power that's trying to divide us, this is the best way to do it, right? Is like create division any way they can. So it's like, hey, are you going to wear a mask or are you going to not during the pandemic? Then they come up with a vaccine, like, are you going to get vaccinated or are you not? And they're just playing the middle. They're just like, all right, whoever wins, we're in the middle. We're controlling the game. So whatever side wins, we win in the end. Like, I think it's dumb. Don't fight.
Everybody's like, wearing a mask.
Yeah.
They're just trying to protect themselves.
Yeah.
They're doing what they think is best. So why are you going to hate them for wearing a mask?
Same thing with the vaccination.
And they said people who have been vaccinated, they still should wear a mask. Like, Powell died or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He was vaccinated, but he had underlying health issues.
Yeah.
And still people who were getting the vaccination were spreading the Delta variant.
Right.
So I was like, you're giving me the Delta variant. You got vaccinated. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so even my mom, she's on me about getting vaccinated, and I try to explain to her, I'm a person who's social distancing. Yep. I never see anyone. Right. I don't go out. Yeah. So I'm not going to inject myself with something for no reason. I know a lot of people hear that and they're like, people need to be vaccinated. But they say the vaccination is really to keep people out of hospitals. Yeah. So, if I'm not harming other people, that's your choice. That's my choice.
Yeah. And people who get vaccinated because they have people who are at risk, like maybe they live with older parents or grandparents, something like that. That's understandable.
That's beautiful.
Perfectly understandable.
Older people can be vaccinated too, though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they should be.
Why? And hold on, like I was watching that You show, right? Where she got mad at so it was a mother, right? She got mad at another parent because her kid went to a party or something with their kid, and she got like the measles or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, why are you mad at them when you should have just vaccinated your child?
From that, right? Yeah, it's true.
It's like protect your child.
That's true.
Worry about other people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's what they say about, the world's over sexualized. Lil Boozy gets pissed when he sees gay shit online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the baby
you would
too.
think that we would just protect our family from that instead of telling society, other people, don't show us that. No, just tell, educate your family, educate your son, educate your family.
They're going to be influenced by that shit.
Yeah, like the gay Superman, like,
right.
Powerful.
What's fucked up?
Like a parent is competing against Superman.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. They're gonna look at Superman. That's Superman.
Yeah, Superman's gay.
Yeah. You know what's fucked up? And I had said this because somebody on my Instagram had shared a story about that comic book that's coming out with gay Superman, right? And I was like, isn't that a shame? They'll make him gay before they make him black. They'll make Superman gay before they make him black.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know that the gay was gay Superman. But didn't they make somebody from like the ATL? He's gay and he's a superhero, and he's with that Indian dude who got all buff.
I have no idea.
But this is exactly what you guys are talking about. What Dave Chappelle touched on. He said you can call someone a nigger one day, and they'll be fine. They'll still have their job. You call someone a faggot the next day, they're gonna lose their job. So, what are we really looking at? You know,
right?
You know, it's a heavy thing to think about.
You know what's crazy? Okay, on that subject, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to ask you, Paul, is so I have friends that are African American and they're gay, right? And they were siding with the gays on that Dave Chappelle thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, like if you're born black, you can't change that. You know what I mean? And I know people say, okay, you're born gay or whatnot, and they can be. You know, I'm not gay, so I don't know. But where do you draw the line? Like, is your race more important than your sexuality? You know what I mean? Or is it their choice? Like, yeah, but it is ultimately their choice. They're choosing their sexuality over like their own people, basically, like their own race. But like, where is that line? Why were they crossing that line? You know what I mean? Like they're choosing. Okay, I want to fuck somebody of the same sex. And that's, to me having sex is more important than like the black struggle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't understand that. Mm-hmm. I can't understand that.
That's a tough question to answer, man. Like, I think even when black people struggle, their struggle is separated. Like, you know, when they were having the whole feminist movement, white feminists still didn't want black women to be in the room.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, but I'm still a woman. If you go read about the black activist at that time, you know, she said, I'm still a woman, you know, even though she was black, but they have a good way of separating it.
Are we talking about back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. Back in the day.
100%.
Yeah, during the women's rights movement. You know what I mean? And then today, you have people who are white males, like Dave Chappelle said, who are gay. So they've already been driving the boat. Yeah. They can help them progress. You know, it's like, oh shit, you guys made great progression. Right. Black people are still struggling, you know? And so it's either you know, I want all of us to get along and I want all of us to progress. But at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, what is your motive? You know, what you're going for. Like, I understand bringing sexuality and making people aware of other people's struggles. But then once you start sexualizing cartoons and comic books, I don't see that necessary. I see it as just forcing it upon society, you know? And we know gay people. Yeah. I mean, I know gay people everywhere, and it's normal, you know? I've never had the conversation about them feeling uncomfortable or anything like that. Yeah. It's always about how do we make it to the next progressive stage in our lives. You know, everybody just wants to progress.
Yeah, I agree. And there should be open tolerance. Like a lot of people I feel like are tolerant of people's sexuality and stuff like that. I got family members who, you know, are LGBTQT and stuff, and I love them. Like, it doesn't change the way I look at them or anything like that. I just look at the person for who they are. You know what I mean? But even with that, I just feel like it's a minority of those people who are making the noise for all of this, like, oh, we're being, you know, oppressed or whatever. It's a minority of those people that are saying that, but they have the loudest voices because they know how to use social media or whatever. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, like the minority of that group is making the loudest noise and trying to like influence people to accept them and not say anything about them. But I mean, come on, people have been saying stuff about minorities for years. You know what I mean? And even when we had like influential people like MLK, like Malcolm X, or even, you know, like Hispanic influencers and stuff like that, you know, try to make a difference in the way they were treated as like farmers and stuff. And people don't get behind that shit. You know what I mean? Even to this day, like that was in the 70s. And people,
there's no white people involved in that movement.
Yeah, it's so true.
There's white people involved in the gay LGBTQ community. Yeah. So they're going to push harder for it. Because unfortunately, people see that as people they need to help. You know, and that sucks to see it that way. You know, especially you can compare it to like, you know, the crack epidemic and the heroin epidemic. They saw black people on crack as, that's nasty. Those are criminals. Right. Get them in jail, you know. But when white people are doing heroin, it's a mental health issue, man. See? So it depends on what people are part of that struggle.
That's true, man. That's so true.
You know, I mean, I don't want to come up with a solution, but it's like, how do we make like any minorities, I guess, because let's say America's mostly white, the minorities kind of get to kind of like on a certain page and like make it not, I hate to use the word cool, but like cool to like progress. I don't know.
You know what's fucked up is I think it was getting to that point, right? Like, you think about when YG dropped the Fuck Donald Trump, that song, right? Yeah. And him and Nipsey Hussle were bigging up like they were basically shattering that cultural barrier between the Mexicans and blacks, especially in California, where that divide was pretty strong, right? And they were like these two African-American men making a rap song about this guy who's oppressing at the time in his campaign Mexicans, right? And they come together and they fucking make this song, this anthem about like, hey, we're against that type of oppression. We don't want that type of shit anymore. And as it was starting to peak, all of a sudden this LGBTQ stuff takes the forefront and it overshadowed all of that. And I felt like we were getting to that point. We were getting to a point where there was like a revolution of like, hey, yo, black and brown are now like joining up to go against this tyranny. And then all of a sudden we're changing the game.
The white man cut the camera.
It's all good. This could be just. This is for the audio. It's all good. This is for the audio.
They don't want to see us progress.
But that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like, especially with the LGBT community, they were being progressed as well. There's rappers who's coming out as gay.
Yeah.
And like Young Thug. He ain't publicly said it, but
he's
on,
gay.
Man.
My
Lil
mind's
Nas
blown
X.
right now.
I would say they're bi though, because it's like Yachty has like a kid and stuff.
Young
like that.
Thug is gay,
but back in the day, you would never ever fathom a gay rapper.
So this is my conspiracy. No, yeah, you're right. But okay, but now we're gonna say we're gonna act like it's gonna seem like we're hating gays. We don't hate gays. But no, I think
not at all.
No,
not at all. No, it's for real.
We're not just trying to be canceled or anything like that. I'll say if I hate a gay, I'm just fine. But no, so like for my conspiracies, it's like in Hollywood or whatever industry, right? You have to take like an oath of being pansexual. Like you have to love literally anything that they want you to love. So men, women, fucking your mother, whatever. Anything's fair game.
The aliens they haven't told us about yet?
I mean, shit, 100% that. But, no, I don't know. And I don't even know if I was trying to set up the camera. But what was we talking about?
That's a good question. Demi Lovato said we shouldn't be calling aliens extraterrestrials.
Oh, I fucking forgot about that.
She said it's offensive.
To extraterrestrials.
I guess then people...
drugged.
Yeah.
I don't think the heroin's fully out of her body yet.
See, I completely got off topic. But yeah, that's the same point. Like, people will find something to be offended by.
Oh, yeah,
even though it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like aliens?
Right.
You don't know if they exist.
Aliens extraterrestrials? Like, what the
aliens
fuck?
Exist. I'm sorry. Do you think aliens exist?
Yeah. The universe is too big for nothing to exist.
I'm on the fence about it. I'm on the fence about it because, like,
I think we have alien DNA because our skeletons, like, that's why we're not even meant for this type of gravity. So it's like the DNA that we have. I don't know. I don't want to get into some crazy shit.
That's deep.
That's deep, but I don't know. I think there could be aliens for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're running the show, right? They're running everything. Could be like that South Park episode. If you remember that classic South Park episode, it's all just entertainment for the aliens. Like we're all here on this planet just as entertainment. That
makes sense to me.
And they're watching us like a reality show. Or it just could be like...
or helping.
It could be a simulation.
Yeah, it could be a simulation.
They believe the world's a simulation,
They said a 50% chance it could be.
We're so close. We're so perfect. We're so close to the sun. We're just far away enough from it. The way the axis twirls.
Yeah.
People's skin color.
Yep. The moon making the oceans and shit like that move.
There's just something else out there that we can't fathom. And I don't think we're supposed to fathom it. Yeah.
No.
Even, many people believe either religion or a higher being. It's unfortunate. Human beings are the ones who create religion, create different denominations like Catholic, Christian, Muslim, things like that. But there's only one God.
Right.
So that's almost telling you like, okay, what am I supposed to believe? I can believe in a higher power, but I'm not going to believe in every religion there is.
Yeah.
But people are in that.
Yeah.
And they have, I think, people want to have a purpose after death.
That's
right,
true.
yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for believing in something. You don't want to live on this earth with nothing to believe.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
If there is nothing after death, it's all meaningless. So I was listening
Is
to.
it though? I don't think it is though. Even if there was nothing.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Right. So I was listening to this guy who I listen to a lot, and he's like he's not necessarily a pastor, but he's like a biblical scholar, right? And he's a young dude. He's probably like R.A.H, maybe a few years older.
Yeah.
But he was like, look, if you don't believe in a God, like you don't have a God, then everything to you is pointless. Like, yeah, you have experiences, you have moments, you're like this and that, and maybe like the biological element of having kids and reproducing to carry on your name. But ultimately, that's going to go away someday too, because science even says that this planet is going to be absorbed by its sun, in however many years. So that's pointless.
Way past us though.
Yeah, but still, even if you're thinking that, okay, I'm going to live on through like bloodline or whatever, that's all going to end. So ultimately, if you don't believe there's an afterlife, it's meaningless.
Nah,
there's literally nothing to this life.
I personally could believe that there's no afterlife, but like, I still want to like, while we're here, make the most of it, or like spread, joy, love, whatever goodness.
But why?
But why? Because I know in turn, just like how Ray wants to start that community, I know if I'm making somebody else's life better, they're going to return the favor to somebody else or to me.
And that continues. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see your point. You're living for now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not living for later.
Nah. Yeah.
And that's his point. He, if you die and there's nothing to go to after death,
yeah.
It's almost like, okay, I just lived and that's it.
That's it.
So then people are going to start sucking dick. Because who cares anyway?
Good point.
Good point.
Touche.
Right back to the start.
No, but okay. All right. So there was two things. I'll think of the other one. But all right. So beliefs, right? What are two like big beliefs that you guys have right now at this moment to this day that you feel like you'll never, turn that belief away, but who knows about the future?
Oh shit! Like since youth?
No, it's right now.
Oh,
like, you have this belief that you hold on to.
Well, yeah, since youth too.
Yeah, I mean, no, because you could change. You could change. It could be from youth, but it could be like something that I didn't think that way, but now I think this way. But you could switch it later.
That's a deep question because I don't even know.
Because in psychology, when I took it like in college or whatever, and it was like there's like name three things that like that'll stick with you forever or something like that, and like that you'll die with, and I was like, fuck, it was a hard question because if you really think about it, I'm Mexican, but like you could change your nationality if you move to a country and you adopt that culture, or your skin color. I don't know, you could bleach your skin or who knows,
which will probably happen in like 5 years,
or like. Or you could, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if technology comes to a point where you could transfer your consciousness, or you become a surrogate, in a different body. Just saying, like, change happens regardless, no matter what, right? That's the one thing that's always going to be constant is change. But yeah, what's one thing today that you guys think that won't change, but who knows, it might change in the future?
To quote the great Tony Montana, I only have two things: my word and my balls, and I break them for no one, chico.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing.
I don't know where to go with that. The fucking light.
There's nothing that's a damn good question, man. There's nothing that I can think of that every day that I am holding on to.
That's good.
Okay, but I'm gonna throw a curveball though, because like love though, like love for your children or something like that. Like
that's everlasting.
I mean that's a given, right? But like. Because I'm gonna be a parent,
you're about to
like
have
that. But like
your first kid.
I don't know, like y'all believe in love though, right? Or not? Like
what kind of love? No, yeah, that's everlasting. Yeah, love for your children. Once you hold your baby for the first time, you're gonna know. Like you're gonna see.
We'll see. I'm just playing.
No, trust me.
I know.
Trust me. Like you're gonna find out.
Like oh shit, like. I'm just thinking of scenarios like, what if they hate you or something like that?
You still love them?
Yeah, you're still gonna love them. But like, fuck, think how hard that is. Is that
it's unconditional love?
Unconditional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way love should be. But like, fuck, like, what was I gonna say? Like, is that gonna be more heartbreaking than our heartbreaks in like our first love? That's gonna be hard, no? Or what do you think?
Oh, it would be. I guarantee it would be. It would be way difficult. I hope I'm never in that situation. Only time will tell though, because I can't predict the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the love that you have for your kids, it's just unconditional, like Paul said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unconditional. Like whatever they do, like you're just gonna love them. They're your child. You know what I mean? And it takes being a parent to understand parents too.
No, I get it. 100%. Yeah. And even though like we're lucky because we all have our moms, right? Like, that's unconditional. Like, yeah. And when we lose that, like, dude, that's gonna be a different type of day, right?
I can't fathom that, man.
Right.
Exactly.
Bro,
when
it's
it happens,
so crazy.
like, fuck, like, that probably won't even exist. Like, I'm not saying I don't know your dad or anything, but I know my dad, and he loves me to death. But like, I don't know. It's like the mother love is unconditional.
It's a different type of love, man,
bro.
Yeah. Because I think about it all the time. You know, we think fucked up things as human beings.
Yeah.
So if you want to put it out in the air, you know, I think about it all the time. I'm like, if my mom died, my world's crashing.
Yeah.
You know, my heart's done. Like, oh man, I don't even want to think about it. Right. You know, but I think about my dad dying. I still sad, but it's like, oh,
it's a different.
It's something that happened.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad. I look like you. Yeah. You did your thing on Earth. But I never see. We're laughing about it too. You know, it's almost like, you know, and I think that comes with time spent, dude.
Yeah,
it's true.
You know, I never want my kids to have that thought about me.
Yeah,
right.
So you know, unfortunately, we come from an era. I come from an era, you know, where our dads were kind of Rolling Stones.
Yeah, same with here. Because my dad did some fucked up shit. He even said some fucked up shit to me, like when I was a kid and in that situation, stuff like that. That I could probably resent him for to this day, but I still love him. You know, but
and that speaks to yourself and your character.
Yeah,
I know some people who hold resentment to their dad right now, and they won't be able to talk to him or even give him any type of love.
Right. And they're gonna hate it when they die.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you'll never get that time back. You'll never make it right. Yeah.
And so that's an important question. Like, what do you care about most on this earth? I don't, you know, besides kids and love. Yeah. And I want to have a purpose. I want people to remember me when I'm gone. Like, this guy helped people any chance he got. He tried to make people's lives better.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have purpose. I want people to still be progressing off things I've done after I'm gone.
I hear you.
Yeah. So I think my legacy is the most important thing I hold on to in this life.
Oh, that's good.
You know,
that's good.
Do we, and because I've felt that way too, but like, and I'm not saying this to you, like, but I'm saying like, there's a difference, right? Because I know before when I felt that way, it was like, oh, I just want to have a good eulogy, or, you know, or like not a good funeral, because I don't want a big funeral. I would rather have people who, you know, actually there who like remembered me or, you know, had experience. But like, yeah, not just for, you know, having not a good death, but, you know, like, after you're gone, but actually an impact that lasts, right? Or legacy, yeah. And that can be passed on through the kids, right?
It can be, yeah. This is going to get really dark and morbid, but have you guys thought about, like, who do you want to do your eulogy? You know what I mean?
Fuck, well, not you anymore after that wedding speech.
Did you remember the wedding speech? I thought it was good. Were you there? Or did Paul get escorted out before the wedding speech?
I made sure the didn't escort him, and they wanted to.
Listen, that wedding, man, I had one beer and they told me, you're having too much.
I don't know.
I was like, what?
For you, bro.
I was like, you must hate me, dude. Like, I'm fine. I was completely fine. Like, you're cut off.
My brother-in-law, Angie's, our sister's husband, he was off the chain.
Oh, he was off the chain.
The bouncer wasn't on him.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was the whole night.
It was a good wedding. But no, like,
what was the point?
so you even thought about that? Because, I mean, if things go as they naturally should, I'm going to die before you. I should die before you. Right?
I would give you a good speech no matter what.
Yeah.
But I want Kim, my wife, to do my speech.
And then, and then I thought about this too, because I had to do a eulogy. If you remember at my friend Dylan's, I did his eulogy.
You did a great one.
And it was hard because like it was
100% great.
It was so hard because he died at a young age. I thought like we were 24.
Yeah.
And he died. And so I did his eulogy, and it was just crazy to me because I was doing a eulogy for like somebody I didn't think would be dead at 24. Like I thought he was going to live on and we were going to be old, you know what I mean? And shit like that. But like thinking about like for instance, me and Val here, me and Valentino, we're only a few days apart. Did you know that?
Oh, okay.
So his birthday is January 10th, 1989. Mine's January 7th, 1989. So just a few days apart. Yeah. So, I mean, we could be gone at any moment when we're old.
Y'all are going close.
We're gonna be dying close. You know what I mean?
Someone's got to start living healthy.
He's gonna read in the page. He's gonna hear from like somebody, a friends of a friends or something by that time, and like, yeah, Rudy died last week. He's like, oh fuck, I'm next, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
I don't even think about death.
Well,
I don't even.
Died. Oh, go ahead. No, keep going.
I don't think about death at all because I believe in law of attraction.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't believe bringing into that in my life at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to speak on it.
I don't speak on it. I don't speak on it. I'll speak on it lightheartedly. Yeah. But there's a lot of rappers and a lot of people who speak on death. Yeah. And it happens. And it comes, I swear to you, you know. Tupac is the biggest.
Yeah. Tupac.
Force of that. Because like he's living such a forceful life, you know. And unfortunately, it came to both of them. Biggie, his just think about the name of his album.
Yeah, Life After Death.
Life After Death.
Ready to Die.
Man, you're almost speaking that to existence, you know? Yep. And that's what I like to think. I like to think if you're just thinking into the future, naturally, things will naturally happen how they're supposed to go. I don't even want to... I understand it's good to plan. Yeah. Maybe have a will or something. But once that will's done, we're not talking about anything, you know? Just let things happen how they're supposed to happen. Because once you start talking about it, the world can hear you. I believe in lateral... The world's hearing you, you know?
So I got to get ready to die then.
But like, you could be a kid talking about this and you're probably going to live longer.
Right.
Yeah. But kids don't have big energy like that.
They don't, yeah.
You got good
thought
energy.
About shit like this when you were a kid?
Fuck yeah. What the fuck, you didn't?
Of dying?
Yes.
I never thought of dying as a kid. I just thought about when am I going to get my next bowl of cereal? What's gonna happen on X-Men animated series next week?
No. What I mean about energy, I feel like your energy, like the energy you're giving off as a kid, isn't enough energy to put that into the world like that because you're curious.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're curious. You're not. Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
No.
You know what I mean? As an adult, you carry different types of energy. You've had sex with different type of women.
Yeah.
You've had different type of fights.
Right.
You're carrying either positive energy or negative energy around everybody. You ever meet someone, you're like, man, that person got negative energy.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, you go through experiences and either you're going to bring in that negative energy environment and go down with that, or you're going to be in a positive state of mind and go up with it, you know?
That's true.
Like, I hate to bring up rappers like Pop Smoke, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He was living in LA. He was trying to do the right thing, but the energies, the rapping.
But he really put that out there.
He put the energies out there.
He put that in some amazing music.
Yeah, he put it. I loved his music, man.
Yeah,
great music.
Think about how many people heard that shit. And he's living this life.
Right.
I'm gonna catch a lick. And fucking young 15-year-old kid, I think, did it for a watch. That was like $2,000.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you guys see read about the trial or whatever? So there was one guy who was like 20 years old.
He told him to get a
So it was a 20-year-old that orchestrated the robbery or whatever, and he took these two young kids with him to do it. And the young kid's the one that shot Pop Smoke and killed him, but the 20-year-old told him not to use a gun because it wasn't even the kid's gun. Like they found the gun in the house or something, right? Something like that. So it was Pop Smoke's own gun. And
I don't think you know about the story goes deeper too. Pop Smoke actually took a car from a person in New York. I don't know what it was, a Lamborghini or Range Rover, something. He took it from New York all the way to L.A.
Oh, really?
And this guy is known to be associated with mobsters.
Really?
So people really believe that it was a calculated hit. You know, if you read about that story. So
could be.
You know, those energies, everything that you do, every choice you make is going to come back to you, even if you think you're over it. You know, and the only person I can see that's living past those energies is 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He got past that negative energy.
Yeah, because he already kissed
He got shot.
He was shot 9 times.
Yeah.
He basically got a blow. He got
the money.
He got his dick sucked by death, basically. He was laying there, shot up, and he's like looking down. Oh, okay. This might not be too bad. And he came back to life.
And I think that's why people hate him even more, because he's reckless, because he knows that he's already been through the worst you can ever been through.
Think about that.
He says what he wants. He makes it happen, and if you talk shit on him, you may not make it out of that.
Yep.
You know? Even the guy who died, Michael K. Williams, he was on The Wire.
Oh, yeah.
He had, he was cool with one of 50's people who 50 had beef with, Jimmy Henchman.
Oh, okay.
So even in death, 50 still...
Oh, he held that
against him, you know? So I think you got to pick and choose your battles and where you're going with life.
That's to prove your point wrong, though, because 50 ain't dying anytime soon. He's speaking death. He's doing all this.
But he's already gone through it.
Yeah, but you see what you're saying? Anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we're still living this life.
I thought about this the other day. I probably shouldn't say this on camera. It's kind of, but like I remember playing like your friend Dylan, who you spoke the eulogy to.
Yeah.
Beautiful eulogy, hands down. But yeah, we played Grand Theft Auto like 3. He was the one that introduced us to these like I don't want to say violent video games, but like no, it was amazing. He was always on top of that shit. Heavy into gaming. We would like. I don't think he committed suicide, right? He just overdrank.
No, he died from alcohol withdrawal. So he was trying to quit drinking because he was drinking so much, and the withdrawal killed him.
Not good, but like but like no, we used to like make fun of like, oh, we're gonna commit suicide. We're pay Suey a visit, and like I thought he committed suicide. So I was like, oh fuck, like what if?
Right.
Not I'm sure he didn't, but yeah, life's crazy. Anyways.
Yeah, it's tough when you lose, especially like at that age, because he was so young. It was so hard because like. Immediately when I walked into the funeral parlor and you were with me and I started crying, like I never really cried at funerals. Yeah. But I cried at his funeral because he was so young and we had talked about what we wanted our futures to look like. Like we had talked about like, hey, when I'm this age, I'm gonna be doing this. Hopefully I got this many kids and stuff like that. And then I knew that was all gone for him. Like he had no more opportunities to do that anymore. And so it was tough. You know what I mean? It's so tough when you lose somebody like young like that. There was it was a comedian or somebody. I heard them on a podcast and they were talking about an experience that made them go for their dreams. They were 19 years old and him and a buddy they were getting drunk at a lake and they were swimming in the lake and his buddy drowned and died. And he's like, I'll never forget the look on his face because he popped up from the water and he was laughing and we were having such a good time and he went under and never came back up.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So he's like, so all of that joy that he was feeling suddenly turned into fear or something because he never came back up. He's like, and I couldn't get over it for years. He's like, but then I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna do something with my life because it's so short. And he died at 19 years old, and then he ended up becoming like, I can't remember if he's a comedian or something, but he's famous now. Yeah.
And like, do you guys think you need a profound, like something profound to happen or something like that when it comes to giving you that boost or something?
Nah, already had too many profound moments.
You should, and I'm not saying it's the only way, but I'm just saying like that divine intervention or something like that, like for somebody's life to change, even if it's I don't know. So I'm sure we have people in our lives that we love that would maybe want to change or something like that, but like it only takes that divine intervention or something like that.
I see what you're saying.
Great or something like that. Like that's why they say, not why they say it, but it's like they sold their soul, but like I don't know, they really. Went through something or did something to get to another level or something.
That's a good point. That reminds me of a saying that I heard from a motivational speaker. Okay, when he's talking about people changing their mentalities, their paradigms, right? Their cluster of ideas of who make them who they are. There's only 2 ways to change that. Okay, one is a traumatic event, whether positive or negative. It'll change you as a person forever and the way that you do things forever, right? That's why a lot of people, if they go through something super negative, they turn to like drugs or anything, right? Yeah. Because it's a negative experience that changed them, even if they're a good person. And then a bad person could be changed by something like a loved one dying or possibly almost dying or overdosing or whatever. And it's a paradigm shift, right? So the only other way to do it is to work on yourself. Find out where your negative thoughts are and your negative habits are, and then slowly change those into positive habits, slowly change those on your own into productive and constructive things. Like those are the only 2 ways you can go about doing that, about changing your mindset, is either trauma or individual work.
Yeah. Y'all don't think that like, when they say something, they have like a great experience and like, I could just die right now. Y'all don't think death could be a little sweet or anything like that? Not to sound weird or anything, but it's like, life is a struggle.
Yeah.
It's pain.
Going back to 50 Cent, death's got to be easy because life is hard.
No, but don't you guys think, like, and I'm not promoting anything, but it's like, people who choke themselves out when they masturbate or something like that. And I'm not saying that, but it's like, you don't think that death is actually maybe a little bit better? I mean, it depends on what type of death. If you have like an agonizing, traumatic death, then yeah, that's bad. But dying, it could actually be maybe a good thing. I've heard people like, who was the bodybuilder? I met him at like FitCon. It was Fletcher, CT Fletcher.
CT
right?
Fletcher.
Oh, okay, yeah.
CT Fletcher.
Documentary. He said like his heart gave out, right, and he died. but he said it was like the best feeling, like being held by his mom or something like that, you know, and like even better than anything, like, you know. But then when he came back, you know, he came back. But I don't know. Do you think death might not even be that as bad as we think it is?
I hope so.
Well, I was talking to this girl. She said death is almost like a freeing thing.
Yeah.
You know, some people see it as another life.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you die, you go into another phase of what you're supposed to be. Obviously, none of us know because we haven't came back and told anybody how it is. But yeah, some people almost say, some people go through such a hard life or so much things that that makes me appreciate life more.
Yeah.
When I go through things like that, but some people are the opposite. They go through some things and and they commit suicide to free themselves of the pain or whatever they're feeling at that moment. So I guarantee some people see it as a freeing experience, you know, and I can't fathom that because I think life is so beautiful. Just sometimes I'll look outside and I'll be like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I don't even know why I do that. Yeah. Because I just appreciate life, you know, and I'll be like, man, thank you for this, for where you've put me at, you know, even if I know I'm not doing as well as other people, I feel thankful. So I know I appreciate life more than the average person.
As we should.
Yeah, as we should.
But like that movie Troy, though, how he's like, you know, the gods envy us because, you know, we're mortal. This isn't going to last long, but like, you know, we could die or we could, you know, we're, you know, mortal or whatever like that. So it's like, it should be more precious than what we hold it to, I guess. But I feel like when it comes to pleasure, releasing, that's when pleasure comes. Like if somebody takes your breath away, like that's pleasure. If somebody piss, if you know, or whatever, that's pleasure. Like
releasing,
that. If you like yell at somebody or, you know, whatever, let it out, that's pleasure. So death, it could be the ultimate pleasure. And I'm not saying that to be weird or anything like that.
Right.
No, we definitely understand.
Yeah, I got you for sure. And the crazy thing is we're all gonna find out because everybody dies one day. So we're all gonna find out. Unfortunately,
hopefully at an age where it's like, yeah, your bones ache and it's agonizing, and then you know, you actually move on.
And you should die at that point. Yeah. But naturally, ultimately, man, it's in God's hands. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's in God's hands, baby. He's the author and finisher of life and death. I leave it up to him, but we're all gonna find out one day if it's gonna be pleasurable or what it is. You know what I mean? Whatever religion people believe in, like everybody dies. That's, you know, that same dude I was telling you guys about, and like I said, he's not a pastor, but he's a biblical, like, he's a theologian, he's a scholar. He was saying, he's like, when you have a child, okay, you don't know what that child's going to be in life. You don't know whether they're going to finish school. You don't know if they're going to want to pursue their passions. You don't know if they're hopefully, you know, not going to be a degenerate or whatever. You don't know what's going to happen in their life. The one thing you know is they're going to die one day. Yeah. So what are you going to teach them before they ultimately die? Or before you die and you can't teach them anymore. That's the only thing you know for sure about that new person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why you don't only give them what you didn't have, you teach them what you didn't have.
Yeah, teach them, yep.
But man, I hate to go all serious and stuff. How should we end this? What other last topic that we can come out with?
I think it's been great.
Yeah, it's been a great time just seeing your face again, talking again, man, having a beer together. You got into it.
I
had 2 drinks.
I ain't finished my drink. I'm gonna finish
2 drinks, baby. I'm feeling loose.
But no, this is awesome. It was, when you first came in, it felt like a podcast because it was just good energy, hearing you talk, and like it was funny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm glad you came.
Oh man, I love what you guys are doing here. I mean, this podcast. The name of the podcast is Rich at Heart, right?
Yep.
And that's everything we can hope for. You know, Rich at Heart. You know, trying to explain the stories of, you know, different people growing up in Utah. And keep it up, man. And everybody watching this podcast, it's gonna be big, man. So let's keep at it.
Ray, get at me.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we got to get Ray on here for sure.
Yeah, we got other friends and stuff. Yeah. All right, cool. We'll just head it out right there. Hopefully we'll have you back or we'll do this again. Or
something. Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool.
Definitely.
All right.
Cool.
Peace.